U.S. atomic war designs required the annihilation of the Soviet Union and China as suitable social orders, as indicated by reports uncovered by the National Security Archive. The recently declassified records demonstrate that gets ready for an atomic war conceived by the U.S. Army in the 1960s thought about crushing the Soviet Union and China by obliterating their modern potential and wiping out the main part of their populaces. RT reports, a survey of the U.S. General Atomic Corps Plan by the Joint Staff in 1964, which was as of late distributed by George Washington University's National Security Archive venture, demonstrates how the Pentagon contemplated choices to devastate the USSR and China as reasonable social orders. The survey, led 2 years after the Cuban Missile Crisis, devises the decimation of the Soviet Union as a reasonable society by demolishing 70% of its mechanical floor space amid preemptive and retaliatory atomic strikes. A comparable objective is changed for China, given its more agrarian-based economy at the time. As indicated by the arrangement, the U.S. would wipe out 30 noteworthy Chinese urban communities, murdering off 30% of the country's urban populace and dividing its mechanical capacities. The effective execution of the substantial-scale atomic attack would guarantee that China would never again be a feasible country, the survey peruses. The Joint Staff had proposed to utilize the populist misfortune as the essential measuring stick for viability in devastating the adversary society with just insurance thoughtfulness regarding mechanical harm. This disturbing thought implied that, as long as urban laborers and chiefs were executed, the real harm to modern targets probably won't be as critical, the George Washington University analysts said. The 1964 arrangement doesn't indicate the foreseen foe setback levels, however, as the scientists note. A prior gauge from 1961 anticipated that a U.S. assault would execute 71% of the occupants in real Soviet urban focuses and 53% of inhabitants in Chinese ones. Similarly, the 1962 gauge anticipated the passing of 70 million Soviet nationals amid a no-notice U.S. strike on military and urban mechanical targets. The Pentagon keeps on depending intensely on atomic prevention, and, simply like in the 1960s, the U.S. atomic technique still respects Russian and Chinese military abilities as fundamental difficulties looked by Washington. The most recent nuclear posture review, embraced in February, laid out an uncommon range and blend of dangers radiating from Beijing and Moscow. The archive, which notices Russia 127 times, refers to the modernization of the Russian atomic munitions stockpile as disturbing for the U.S. The current atomic system likewise enables the U.S. to lead atomic strikes in light of adversaries' atomic assaults, as well as because of critical non-atomic key assaults on the U.S., its partners and accomplices. The most current U.S. nuclear posture review was vigorously scrutinized by Russia and China. Moscow decried the technique as angry, while Beijing depicted the Pentagon's approach for instance of chilly war attitude.